I'm having one of those days today where the weight of the world feels like it's falling upon my shoulders. You know, when you're in the midst of it being acknowledged how mentally you're not functioning at your best, it's very easy to put everything down, you know, your interpretations and your decoding of this reality as being a bit broken and maybe not to be trusted. But then there are days where you just sort of think, hang on, there's a difference between anxiety and depression, and the way you exaggerate certain thoughts and feelings and things that are going on in your life that are instrumental in creating that are truly things that even a slightly more well-adjusted person would be thinking, I can't handle this. And there's a lot of that going on in my life at this point in time, all based around accommodation. I can only adult for me and my daughter. Responsibility is, and the way people deal with it can be a very attractive trait, I think you'll agree. And you know, I relate to this. I've been like this in the past, not for many years, but my responsibilities, I will scream loud and clear, this is what's wrong with me and I deserve acknowledgement and help, when in point of fact all that's happening is just a very average day-to-day discrepancy which we all face. Everybody's had a situation in their life, haven't they, where you think, or you get that letter and it says you owe 700 quid bill and you didn't even live in the property, you know, that kind of stuff. You just have to phone them. You have to pursue it. You maybe have to get people like the Citizens Advice Bureau involved, and you get it sorted out. You don't put it onto the shoulders of others who have got their own responsibilities, who've got their own concerns. I see it as a very checkered part of my history, the way I may have put problems onto other people's shoulders at times when I should have been doing otherwise. It's a big part of why I'm in the sort of mindset that I am these days. But I'm being expected to adult for more than one person. As I say, my job is to adult for me and my daughter, and that's all I will do. And I'm not functioning well, especially not today. You know, I do suffer with being, so I'm told, relatively eloquent, and that does con people into thinking that you're dealing with things a whole lot better than you truly are. You know, I say something in 5 flighty paragraphs, whereas a more reasonable and probably more balanced person just said, I don't feel so good today, you know. It can go against you if you're sort of relatively wordy and trying to say mentally are not dealing with things well. And I've seen people online talking about benefits they've claimed for disability on a mental level, and their eloquence has stitched them up. Oh, you seem fine. People's defence mechanisms kick in and they start pretending they're dealing with things and use language and smiles to cover their pain, you know, and I know that all too well. Life is just structured to put us at odds with certain things. It's like your contract at work, isn't it? You work from 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. You can guarantee you're going to be there till 6:30 sometimes, and it's just expected of you, you know. But they'll throw the book at you if you go one step over the rules from their perception. Doesn't mean shit in life if you're in the right. If a mistake is made and just once in your life you back off from a hard and fast truth, you can guarantee you'll do it again. And people, once they see you've got a weakness, will just feast on it. At the best of times, I'm not cut out to be anybody's parent who isn't of my blood, who isn't my child. And I make no bones about that. I shouldn't have to be. But I've created my own nightmare with regards to tolerating this small act here, this little indiscrepancy there, to the point where you know, my only hope now is my own house. You know, that was proved at Christmas time when I was alone in the property for 2 weeks, and I had the loveliest time of my life. It was just so relaxing, me and my daughter, because, you know, it could very easily be levelled at me that, you know, what are you going to do if you move to a new place and all your problems follow you? Well, it's now about 4 or 5 hours since the first part of this video, but I thought I'd cobble it all together, and this has got little or nothing to do with it. Today, it's just one of those days where I felt absolutely wretched about my lot in life. We all have days like that. Some days I just think, fuck the world, and other days it feels like I'm being crushed by the very same entity. 17 minutes past 3 this afternoon. For various reasons I was just thinking, I don't know what to fucking do. I really don't know what to do. I just feel absolutely wretched about my life. Nothing seems to be moving on at any kind of grand pace, and 17 minutes past 3 my phone went, and it was somebody from the council's housing team virtually offering me a 1-bedroom flat a few miles away from here, and I find out a little bit more tomorrow. And even if this place isn't for me, thanks to my doctor and what she said recently, you know, she said that I'm on the verge of intensive therapy, which can't be put into practice until I'm in a different house because of the things that I've faced underneath that roof. And it would seem that kick up the backside was what they needed, and if this place isn't for me, I'm being offered places now, which is just fantastic. I think a lot of us have faced very difficult living situations, and nothing, when you're lucky enough to have a roof over your head, comes close to there being major issues and you not having a voice. Believe me, at this point in my life, with the issues I'm facing, the last thing I want to be doing is confrontations over who bleached the toilet last, you know. It's a lot worse than that, and I'm putting myself down a bit here. But Christmas proved what I needed. I'm in touch with myself to the extent where I know what could potentially be me kidding myself. But over Christmas I had 2 weeks more or less to myself in a house, just me and my daughter. It was wonderful. We relaxed, and believe me, relaxing is something that has eluded me for a very long time. But I felt content, I felt happy. My relationship with my daughter just plays out as it should, as opposed to me thinking, is she being too noisy? She shouldn't be here anyway, this is against the contract. If I make a song and dance about things that are going on in this house, people will just complain about her staying. You know, I've been proved right that people will do that as well. Somebody very early on, we received a letter from the agency saying, this is a problem, that is a problem, a tenant has complained, and people who are staying over on a regular basis at the weekends, it's against the tenancy, it's against the rules, don't do it regularly, you know. And doesn't really fill you with confidence when people will pull that kind of low blow, try and get in between a father and his daughter who've had a very, very tough time in the way their relationship has been forced to alter due to breakup, death, God knows what else we've had thrown at us. And yeah, I've not been in any fit state to be fighting my corner, and you know what? If I had fought my corner, I've got proved very early on that people will take the low blow. They try getting in between me and my daughter and saying, I mean, you've got to admit that's one of the lowest moves you could ever make. Think, I know what, I'll make a point. My daughter's very well behaved, very quiet. She's very quick to amuse and to dance and make people laugh, which involves a little bit of dancing on the floor and things like that upstairs in my room. But that's about the maximum of it. She's never vocally loud. She adds joy and magic to every situation. Most of my housemates loved her. You know, the ones who've gone, I mean. Speaking in the past tense of the sense they've moved on or died, you know. But yeah, to get in between a father and his daughter at a time where you've opened up to everybody you live with because they deserve to know, yeah, you know, I've had a hard time. Might not always be on my best behaviour, might not always be the most cordial, as it were, you know. So yeah, my confidence was just eaten alive with regards to ever having a voice to speak out. But it would seem it's all coming to a conclusion now. Even if this place today and tomorrow isn't for me, they're on the case to the point where they're offering me places now, which means it'll be a regular thing. So thank God for that. There have been some crazy situations where I've ended up having to fight my corner. Somebody relatively early on decided they were allergic to the internet being on at night. I think you'll agree. The internet is a utility like gas, water and electric. It's just there for when you want to use it. There's no set time. Some of us wake up at 4 in the morning and think, can't sleep, stick something on YouTube. You know, I'm not going to make excuses for the internet being one of those utilities that's just constantly on. Switching it off at the wall is as absurd to me as switching the electricity off at night, you know. And this happened on 2 occasions. Both occasions cost me over £100 each, because my very low data cap on my phone at the time, I'd had episodes of Frasier running, because I find that a great comfort blanket. It helps me sleep at night. Obviously the internet had kicked out, 4G kicked in, and it ate up my data allowance, which is completely uncapped now, so it wouldn't happen. But at the time I couldn't afford a contract like that. And yeah, that place cost me at least 200 to 250 quid just on somebody deciding that the internet is something they were allergic to after 11 PM. Something that's damn hard to get across in life is personal gripes and grievances. It's like trying to explain the dream that you had. If ever you get somebody in your grasp and they seem to be listening to you, they are thinking, oh God, please, just shut up. Dreams don't translate to describing them to people. And it's the same with when you've got personal gripes in your life. But what I tried to do, and I hope I achieve this, is give it an every man and every woman sheen. Those situations that we've all faced that people have probably told us, is that all you've got to worry about? Or indeed, you know, I've had it when I had a pole dancing girlfriend, a beautiful young baby daughter. What have you got to moan about? It's very difficult to translate how you're feeling, and sometimes legitimately people will say, oh, get over yourself. I know people have done it to me in my time and I've probably deserved it, but I do try and get across that every man and every woman nature of knowing you are in the right, and people who are in calmer climes in their lives tell you, why don't you just tell them to fuck off? And on paper it's perfectly within your justification field to do so, but it's just not that damned easy.